Hello, I'm Wendy, and I'm an artist and an author. And today I'm going to share 7 things that are making me happy right now. They're mostly books, but then books always make me happy. And so I'm going to show them, there's some different topics, and I'm going to show them one by one and let you have a look inside and just also share how they've affected me. You might find that they're really attractive to you too. I don't know. The first one is a little book that I bought in England. I was there last month, and England is like the best place for books. I mean, Canada's pretty good because we're a real nation of readers, but England tops it all. And so it was so wonderful to go through the bookstores and just, I'll take that one, I'll take that one, I'll take that one. And anyway, this is the one I want to share first. It's called Elizabeth and Her German Garden by Elizabeth von Arnim. Now, if you've ever heard of The Enchanted April, which is also a book by Elizabeth, or the movie The Enchanted April, which is absolutely fabulous, one of my favorite movies of all times. It's definitely not new, but if you can find it anywhere, I think you'll love it. This little book is about, she's living in Germany with her husband. I'll just read what it says on the back. This witty and sharp portrayal of a woman finding liberation in her garden has delighted readers ever since it was published, and it was published by Penguin English Library. Taking respite from her husband, whom she calls Man of Wrath, her husband and her stifling household, Elizabeth discovers that the path to joy lies in having a garden of one's own. This semi-autobiographical novel records each season over a year as she makes a wilderness her kingdom of heaven. What I really like about it is the fact that she realizes she's got this place in the country. Her husband goes off to the city to work and then comes home from time to time and, messes everything up, basically. And she has 3 small children, and she's well off because she's got servants and a gardener to do her bidding and things like that. But she discovers that growing a garden and planning this huge property as a garden really liberates her as a woman and in her identity. So I really highly recommend it. It's a quick read. It's just a skinny little book, and I hope you like it. I'll put links below for all the ones that I'm talking about if they're still around, and you can follow the links. The next one is one I got from the library. It's called Going Menopausal. This is obviously a book about women's health. It's what you and your doctor need to know about the real science of menopause and perimenopause. Now, I'm only, as you can see, about halfway through, but this is by far the best book on menopause and perimenopause that I've ever found and read. I think partly because it's not by a doctor. It's by a woman who is going through absolute torture in perimenopause and going into menopause. And she's an investigative journalist. And so she just wanted answers and she went looking for them. And what she found was there's not a lot of answers. And that's because women's health is ignored mostly by the whole medical profession. That is not news. That's been going on forever. And especially perimenopause and menopause. And what your doctor might tell you could be very wrong. For example, I didn't know this, that in perimenopause, which is kind of the lead up to menopause, which is when your periods stop for a year, that's what they call you've been through menopause. In perimenopause, estrogen just goes sky high and it's all over the place. And it's the up and down that causes hot flashes or the sudden drops or whatever. I myself went through, I wouldn't wish my experience on anybody, but I sure wish I'd known this, because what helps with it is progesterone. And what the medical community often does, from what she says, is give a woman estrogen. And it's the last thing you need. Anyway, I won't go into all the details, but she does go into all the details. And I recommend this highly. My daughter was here visiting last week, and I said, you have to read this book because she's coming up to that stage in her life. I said, this is the best book. Forget about all the rest. read this. It's by Amy Alcon, Going Menopausal by Amy Alcon. If you're in that phase or past it and still having problems with female hormones, read this book. Okay, one more book before I get into the art books. That is a journal I got for Mother's Day, I think, or my birthday, from one of my daughters. And they know that I love the beach. So I got this beautiful journal with ocean motifs in gold. I love that it has this on it. And I love that it's actually not very big, because if the pages are big, I feel like I have to fill them. And I use it for what I call conversations with Jesus. And so if I've got something that's bothering me, or that I just don't know how to deal with, or don't know what to do next, I just go sit down, write down what I'm thinking, and just say, what do you think, Lord? And whatever comes to mind, I write down. And it's amazing. It's just amazing. Anyway, on to the art books. This is one I got from the library, and I like it so much, I think I might buy it as well. It's called Start Painting Now, Discover Your Artistic Potential by Emily Powell and Sarah Moore. And they are sisters. I thought I would show you some of the inside. Love this blue just for starters. And isn't this wild? A huge, huge canvas. Where to start? I'm an artist, looking after yourself, all that. Start now, no more excuses, inspiration. Stretch yourself, go big, go inside, go outside, next step, stronger together, on display, etc., etc. Meet Emily and Sarah. And then we've got Emily's path and Sarah's journey. Plus paints to use, which they go into. And then where to start? I am an artist. My story as an artist is who I am. Each page has text and art. And I just love the way that it's set up, because I love a lot of visual activity, which means a lot going on in your visual field. And this book has it. And then we get into some of their personal stories. They're young ladies. This is where I am right now. Oh, by the way, Uppercase magazine, you might want to look into that. I'll do a different video on something like that, or those kind of things that I also have in my life. Find your style. Try different things. There are no rules. That is how art is born. And even though I don't paint like this, at least not right now, and these kind of busy things, I'm still inspired by it. And Maud Lewis, who lived from 1903 to 1970, lived in Nova Scotia, and I was in Nova Scotia a few months ago, and her art in reference to her was everywhere. She was very crippled little lady. She had extremely bad rheumatoid arthritis or some kind of defect, was in pain, married quite a miserable man, but she started by painting her house, the interior of this little, basically one-room cabin. I'm not exactly sure what town she was in. I did watch a movie, and it was not in the middle of town. It was a good long walk from whatever town it was. She started painting, and she put her paintings out on the side of the road where almost no traffic went, and sold them for $5 each. She's a huge inspiration, because she's now a well-known artist from the past in Nova Scotia and throughout Canada. And Emily said, I love Maud Lewis's work. I've been really inspired by her story. It made me realize how important it is to surround myself with my work and to share it with the world. Just some inspiration there. More and more and more. Go big. Different artists are featured, all women. I totally recommend this book. If you need inspiration, just flipping through it will give you that. I think I already mentioned this in another video. I bought this when I was in Fredericton, New Brunswick in June. It's Stillman and Byrne Zeta series hot pressed watercolor sketchbook. And I like the binding that you can actually open it up flat, because it has separate signatures. Signature is just the group of paper that's sewed together. I actually haven't used it yet. I was going to take it to England with me when I went in July. I said to my husband, should I take this one or should I take a little wee one? And he goes, the wee one, which I did take. This is my book that I've had for quite a while called Practical Watercolors by Chris Tappenden, Materials, Techniques, and Projects. And I pulled it off a shelf recently and just kind of went, oh yeah, forgot about this book. One of the things I love about books, and I've done book design for authors, but one of the things I love about books is when they have great book design. So as you can see, there's a lot going on in these pages. I love that the text looks like handwriting. I love that there's things like this. And I mean, I could go on and on, but all the pages are filled with color and watercolor, and this is looks like pencil or pen, maybe marker. A little bit about perspective and scale. A lot of different things are covered in such a little book, and you can just kind of fall into it and love it. Okay, the last one is one that I bought. I was in Victoria in March because we went for my birthday. I found this book in a bookstore and I thought, oh, should I get it? Should I not get it? You know, maybe, maybe not. And you know how it is when something really kind of pulls you. I had to go back and get the book because I love these kind of loose sketches. And also I'm kind of working on getting looser in my artwork. So if I see something like this, I actually need a technique to show me how I can make it looser, because I'm used to doing fairly precise stuff. I've done photorealism in watercolor and portraits and things like that. I want to learn better how to use a looser style. So I love that this has, I mean, it's got information, but I like to look at this. It's like, how did you go from this to this to this to this to this to this, and different techniques that were done. House sketches, the process. So starting by picking your subject, for example, the anatomy of a house. And I like that he doesn't try to make the walls really straight. And then details the little details by looking at it like that, and the rooftops, and you know, just things like that. It's very instructive. Is that a word? A lot of instruction in it. And that's part of the reason why I bought this, because using pen and ink on cold press paper, which is kind of bumpy, is not as nice. Anyway, my goal is to start doing some of these in that sketchbook. But isn't this beautiful? It's just, look at that. It starts out with just like, almost looks like scribbles. And then he uses markers more than anything else, but you can use watercolor or gouache or anything you want. And just adds more detail, adds more color, and then goes in with a pen. Like here's a white pen. It's and he even lists the colors that he uses in Copic markers. There is a great book, and one that I am absolutely loving, and I'm actually promising myself that I'm going to get at very soon. We'll see how that turns out. What I need to do is have a daily ritual or schedule where I get up in the morning, I do, you know, whatever, shower, get dressed, and then I paint, or then I draw, and have that as like a sacred time. At the moment, I don't have that. If I have a painting on the go in acrylics in my studio, the other room over there, then sometimes I'll just fill my water bucket and pick up a brush and add things, because acrylics dry quickly and you can just keep working on them. These are things that make me happy, and they might make you happy too. But I would really love to know what kind of books in particular, but any other things that really give you joy, make you happy. Please leave a comment and let me know, because we're like birds of a feather, aren't we? We're artists, creators, and we share a lot of things, share a lot of likes and not so much likes. But when we share with each other, it's like, I mean, I found a book Online somewhere, someone said, "Oh, I watched a YouTube video. This artist said, this book changed my life. I'd never heard of it before. It is now in my cart." Please subscribe to my channel and click the little bell and the like button because that does help my channel. And I'll see you next time in my cart. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and click the little bell and the like button because that does help my channel. And I'll see you next time.